Hey there folks, and welcome back for another video. I'm your host Chris, or CDB, and today we have a very interesting video. We're going to have a showdown between the Muhle R41 and the Tribute R41 Plus. This one is from Global Shave, which I purchased, by the way, just wanted to mention that. And this one is the Muhle R41. I'm trying to say that better. It's difficult for a speaker of English who doesn't know any German to say that Muhle, because they blend words differently, and so it's hard. But anyway, I put razor rock handles on here, so the handles are going to be absolutely the same in weight, and we're just going to evaluate the heads. Now, one thing I want to point out is the Muhle is superior in fit and finish. There's just no question about that. This one, as I go back and watch the initial impressions video, you can see the fit and finish isn't quite as good. It's nothing that's going to affect the shave, but in terms of the coating, the way it looks, it's got some rough edges and so on. It's just not as well made in terms of fit and finish as the Muhle. But this is a more expensive head, although I will get into that cost in a little bit. I have a lot of things to mention today, so the video might go a little bit longer. Let me roll in some pics because the designs on these are not identical, all right? This is the Tribute R41, as Sheldon mentioned in my initial impressions video, is not an exact copy, as some people in the comments are saying. In particular, you can see that bottom. Look at the difference. I'll roll in a picture there. So there you take a look at the bottoms, that base plate, and you'll see the bar is straight on the Tribute, whereas it's more open comb on the bottom of the Muhle. And also, you'll notice that the Tribute has a little more blade exposure as well. Let me roll in a picture of that so you can see that. There's a little more blade exposure, which is interesting on the Tribute R41. So it is not an exact copy. By the way, the blade that I'm going to be using in both is Astra SP. It was on the... Now, there's a little bit of, I don't want to say controversy, but I just want to explain my point of view on this because Sheldon responded to it and said, most viewers understood that Shaver Boy is the recommended blade because it comes with it. Well, there's a list on the website that says best tested blades. Wouldn't you want to use the best tested blades? I mean, that's how I think. It's like buying a car and they fill it up with, 87 octane gas if you're from here in the United States, but they have a list that says best performance, 93 or whatever, or 89 or 90. I think it's 89 starting now or something. But anyway, the point is, if it says best, then I'm going to gravitate, towards that. I forgot, I didn't even mention the soap yet. We'll get back on this in just a minute. Stirling Lemon Chill. I've had this cold. I've been really fortunate not to go through any of my coughing fits during the video, so I'm crossing my fingers that I won't. But man, I'm struggling with this coughing. But anyway, back to what I was saying. Polar Shaving G4 synthetic is what I'm using for the brush. Loading upside down. If you put something with it, then obviously, I generally do try with whatever the manufacturer puts with the razor first. But if you also have a list, and I'll show you the list, there it is, and it says best tested, then, it's kind of, to me, that's not entirely clear what the intent is. He said most reviewers get that the Shaver Boy, I'm not most reviewers. I do it my own way. I have my own thoughts. I'm not, one who just marches to the beat of whatever the consensus drum is. I do things my own way. I have my own thoughts, right or wrong. And so I'm not like everyone else, as you will get to know, Sheldon. Anyway, we're getting a nice load on the Stirling. Stirling, by the way, terrific. So, by the way, this is $13.60, the tub. 5.8 ounces. Stirling still puts a lot of soap in their tubs, which I really like. $2.34 price per ounce, $2.34. Terrific. 2 thumbs up. I love that Stirling has kept their prices within reason. And that really means a lot to me. And it means a lot to a lot of you out there, too, who are looking to get the most they can from their buck. So let's get into face lathering as we talk more about the razors. Now, Sheldon also talked about cost in the comments on my initial impressions video. And what he said was the cost basis, where he says the the Tribute R41 is half the price. It's gone off manufacturer suggested retail price, which is probably true. However, you can find Muhle R41s on Amazon. In fact, I looked before this video. I'll show you a picture right there. And you can actually get a R41 for $27.61. Now this is subject to change because the prices fluctuate. $26.61 plus $6.16 shipping on Amazon. That comes to $33.97. The Tribute R41 is $29.99 right now, and the shipping was, I can't remember what it was, but it came to $36.74. So right now, as of this date of this video, you can actually get the Muhle R41 cheaper than the Tribute. I will say, however, if you're looking at MSRP, which he's going off of, he has a point. But for the user and for the consumers, we're interested in the price that it gets to our door. I don't care anything about MSRP. That is meaningless to me. It's what does it cost to get it to my door, and I can get a Muhle cheaper. Now that said, if the Tribute R41 turns out to be a better shaver, then we're going to be really happy with that. And if it doesn't turn out to be a better shaver, then it's going to be a bust for me because the fit and finish is not as good as the Muhle. And I just call it like I see it. There's certainly no offense intended. The Tribute is a cheaper razor, so you have the same expectations. One thing I want to show quickly before we get into this, because time and again I'll get somebody that goes, "You don't even have any whiskers." Look, I shave every single day. I'll show you the 24-hour growth, which I took right before this video, which is right there. And as you can see, there are whiskers. They are coarse. It's not a dense. I don't have a really densely packed, close together whiskers. And a lot of them, as you can see, are white. It's very difficult to come across on this camera. You can't even see the lather sheen when I hold it up. So the next time you see someone make a comment on that, please link this video. I do not fake things on this channel, right? I'm a shaver. I shave, and I'm shaving whiskers. So we're going to start out with the Muhle on this side. All right. By the way, great cooling on this because this is the glacial version, and I need it because I'm congested. And so the knock on the R41 for me, the Muhle, is that it always feels just slightly rough, almost regardless of blade. It works really well, but it just doesn't feel smooth, and that's my chief complaint. Although I do use it from time to time. I don't find it crazy aggressive. It's just not as smooth as I would like. That's my chief gripe. It's not as enjoyable as many of my other razors, just not as smooth. And so if the Tribute is smoother, then that's going to be a big win for me, even though the fit and finish is not as good. All right. Wow. I got to tell you, and this is surprising to me, this feels smoother. This is the Tribute. There's something I think, and this is just me. See how it might be that these comb teeth feel a little bit rough, and that by having the straight bar on the Tribute, it takes that little bit of roughness out, because this feels a little bit more comfortable. Now again, I'm calling it exactly like I see it. People do not sponsor, my videos. I don't. Someone had made a comment that it was discovered that some people were taking money to review products. I don't know anything about that, and quite frankly, I don't want to know about it. But what I do want to tell you is I do not take money to give favorable review of products, nor do I take products to give favorable review. Occasionally, I'm sent a product, and I call it like I see it. If you don't believe that, go back and watch the Helmsman shave cream video, and you'll see I did not like this. I tried my best with it. I tried to make it work. I do that with any product, whether it's sent to me or I buy it. And if it is sent to me, I will let you know. And this one was not sent to me. I paid for this. So it really wouldn't matter if it had been, because I'm taking the exact same approach on every single video that I do. It doesn't matter to me whatsoever. And And yes, some people do not send me things because of that. And I am perfectly okay with that, because if I can't speak open and honestly about a product, it's the only way I'm going to use a product. And I say that every single time that someone sends me something is, I make it clear that the only way that I will even consider it is if I can speak with absolute 100% candor. That's just the way I do it. And I'm assuming that most everybody is doing it that way too. And I don't really want to know anything about the politics of what other people do, or how they perceive marketing of products. It's really up to you as the user to decide what you think about these products, and make the best judgment and take things into consideration. I'm just here to use them and talk about them, and I hope that comes across. But I'm always fair, because look, we're using things on this camera and that people put a lot of energy into. And this is, they make their living this way. And so I think we have an obligation to be fair, but we don't have an obligation to give a glowing endorsement. And so let's just be entirely honest and upfront about that. There are things that I do not like about this tribute, all right? I didn't like the way it was packaged. I think the finish is not very good, but it's turning out to shave. It feels more comfortable on my skin than the R41. And I know, based on the comments that I've been seeing, I know some people aren't going to like that, but it's true. And I think it comes down to these teeth. I think these teeth give a little bit of a rough feeling. That's just what I think. I don't think it's the blade at all. I think it's those teeth. And this, by having that straight, I think takes that out of the picture. And that's just me. Other people may use them side by side and not come away feeling that way. But I tell you, I can't deny it. All right. So it is a good shaver. I would call the finish, it's not stellar. Let's be absolute up front. But the shaver itself, as far as the head goes, it shaves well. I don't really like the handle either. The handle for stainless steel is pretty light, so it's hollow. It's got to be. And, I don't think... If you look at the pictures of the rose gold one versus the Muhle rose gold one, the Muhle looks a whole lot better, in my opinion, as far as fit and finish goes. And so, if the way something looks is most important to you, and the fit and finish, and just, you want absolute perfection, then you're going to want to go with the Muhle. I don't think there's any question about that. That's, to me, that's not even anything that's debatable. And I'm going to grab the soap out here while I'm wetting my face. There's no comparison in fit and finish, but this one is a good shaver. How long will it hold up? I don't know. It's probably the same as any razor made of it, the same kind of materials, I didn't see where it had any issues whatsoever, but it is not like one of your showpiece razors as far as fit and finish goes. But I'd be lying if I said it didn't shave well, and that's really what matters the most. And so I know, again, in reading the comments, I know that a lot of people are not fans because they don't like some of the marketing, but, I'm just going to tell you the way it shaves, because I'm not interested in the way he markets his products. And I want to also say and be completely clear that I do not accuse anybody of being on the take or anything like that. I don't want anything to do with that kind of stuff. All I want to do is use these products. But it was important for me to mention what the comments below, some people were like, oh, don't do it. Don't start using, Global, because, so on and so forth. But I just want to let everyone know that, it's shaving well so far. And we got one more pass to go. I don't expect it to go poorly, to be very honest. I enjoyed the first shave I had with it by itself. I really didn't know how it was going to hold up against the Muhle. And I hope I'm doing better saying that, by the way. But it really is holding up well, and it just can't be denied from my perspective. And again, That is absolutely without any consideration to, marketing or the fellow named Sheldon, who I really don't know. You can go look at his comments on the initial impressions video where he, made some corrections and so on. Face is freezing, and I like it, by the way. The Stirling Lemon Chill is terrific. By the way, you see how this is just a thin sheen? That's the way I like it. Not too thick, just thin. And I want the razor just to glide over that kind of thin layer. Sometimes I use a little heavier layer, but most times I like to go, I don't want a big fluffy lather. A lot of people do, I shouldn't say fluffy. I just mean they want more volume in their lather. I don't so much. I just want it to be enough to provide some good protection. And it doesn't have to be picturesque for me, because I'm just a shaver. That's all there is to it. Man, does this have some terrific. If you want some good face cooling, get these glacial products from Stirling. Absolutely terrific. You do get a lot of menthol. So if you're sensitive to menthol, do not do it. But man, oh man, it's a terrific soap. It is a terrific price. I shaved my head actually earlier. The video will be actually after this one, but I gotta tell you, Stirling is just the workhorse of soaps, in my opinion. They're just reliable. You can go to them, they're gonna work. You don't have to do all sorts of trickery and, you gotta use this amount of water, that amount of water. You don't have to do backflips and somersaults to use it. You just lather it and go, and it's going to do what you need it to do. And that's why I like it. It appeals to a lot of people for that reason. And again, the Muhle here, it's a good shaver, but it's just a little bit, I think it's the teeth. I really do. I would not have ever narrowed that down until I really looked at this Tribute, and it doesn't have these same teeth at the bottom. And I really think for me, that's how I would account for the difference. And there is a difference in blade exposure, as I showed you. So let's go with the Tribute. And I think it all comes down to that difference in design. It just feels a little bit smoother to me. Like, it's not night and day, but it's discernible from my perspective. And so the last thing I'm going to do is get on here and mislead you, and because you want me to say, oh, this thing is crap. I just can't in terms of the shave. We can make a lot of criticisms on the fit and finish, the way it was packaged, maybe some of the way it's advertised, but it's a good shaver. It's not a pretty shaver necessarily, if you look at it closely, but ultimately, I think that base plate design, smooth, it just rounded out a little bit of the rough edges on the Muhle version. So that's what it comes down to. And let's see how we did. I don't know that there's going to be any differences in the shave. About the same. I'm not detecting a lot of... I don't think I did quite as well on... I need a little touch up right there. No fault of the razor. When you're talking and you're not paying attention, yeah, that's good. Let's see what I feel. Great residual slickness on this soap, by the way. Just a great soap. Okay, let us take a rinse. We'll come back and do the aftershave. Stay tuned. And all right, we are back with the magic made by witches, Thayers, Witch Hazel. See what I mean by the camera? When you get in this light, it's hard to read things. That's the same thing that happens with viewing my beard. It's difficult to see. Anyway, some terrific cooling on this. So let me tell you something. Stirling, this is Lemon Chill Glacial. If you like cooling and you're not sensitive to menthol, absolutely terrific. Stirling is the horse soap. It may not always be the prettiest, but man, it is good quality. It does the job every single time. It is reliable. You can go to it in any situation, and it's a good performer all the time. The best value priced It is not value in quality. It is very good quality. It has good quality, but it comes at a value price. I have no problems ever recommending Stirling products because I just absolutely love them and I buy them, and I'm never let down. One of the best soaps that you can get when you consider the cost, without question, in my opinion. Okay, folks, it came down to this. The difference, I strongly believe, these teeth, the bottom part, feel a little bit, when it goes across your skin, I think it feels a little bit rough. This Tribute by Global Shave doesn't have that. It also has a little more blade exposure, which I showed you early on in the video. They both shaved in terms of efficiency pretty close to the same as far as I could tell. Now, granted, when you use razors, you tend to compensate. And so they're both excellent shavers. The Muhle, clear winner on fit and finish, there's no question about it. And they can be bought for sometimes, as I showed you below, less expensively than the Global. But the Global for me was actually a smoother shaver. It felt better to me in terms of how the shave came out. Again, it's a toss-up. This one felt a little smoother. The fit and finish is not as good. So take that and consider it as you may. Cost, if you consider cost, you know, it's really hard to say. I'm still keeping my R41, but I'm gonna use this now and then just to see if it grows on me. I will say it's smoother. It was actually more pleasant to use. I did not expect it. I really didn't, but I just can't deny it. You know, it was a smoother shaver, both shaved effectively. So, you know, take that for what it will. Take that for what you will, I should say. Polar Shaving, G4, available on Amazon, 27 bucks. And we're going to use today Sharp Dress Man. I'm trying to finish off this bottle, but we're also going to use some Stirling Frost Chop drops because we're going to keep the cooling going. I'm going to put a little bit of that in my hand. And then I forgot to shake it up. And that's one thing they say to do. So that's my fault for not shaking it up. So let's shake it up. And then I'm going to put a couple drops. And then I'm going to add the, ooh, wow. Then I just got a big goop. Well, that was interesting. I got more than I wanted to there, so I'm not going to go with that much because that would be a disaster. But it was funny. It kind of got hung, and then a big goop of it came out. And so I don't want to slap that big goop on my face. It's probably too much, but let's go with what we have now. I threw some of it out. It's almost like it got stopped up. Okay. Very nice. I'm expecting some good cooling here coming soon. And I don't know what happened to that. It was a little goopy. And I guess I just didn't shake it up. But anyway, we've got some good cooling going now. I want to thank everybody for joining me. Thanks for watching. I hope you will come around soon. Until next time, I want to remind you, it's your shave, do it your way, and God bless.